My girlfriend sneered, "Back to school at your age?" How pathetic. When I enrolled in my master's program, I said, "You're right." Then I graduated with honors, landed her dream job at her company, and became her new boss. Her first day working under me was something else. I, 32, male, never pictured myself leading a team at a Fortune 500 company, let alone being Jessica's boss, 29. But here we are. 3 years ago, I was a mid-level data analyst at Nextech Solutions, earning a solid paycheck but feeling trapped. Jessica worked in corporate strategy at the same company, different department, 3 floors above me. We met at a company happy hour, bonding over overpriced drinks and gripes about office politics. She was driven, I'll give her that. Always talking about her 10-year plan, her path to executive leadership, how she'd be VP by 35. I admired it initially, the confidence, the ambition. I was content crunching numbers and clocking out. About a year into our relationship, I mentioned wanting to pursue a master's in data science. The program at City University offered night classes, and the company would cover 80% of tuition. Seemed like a smart move. Her reaction? She laughed in my face. "Mark, you're 30? 30? You really want to be the old guy sitting in class with a bunch of 22-year-olds? It's a professional program. Most students are working adults." She scrolled through her phone, barely listening. "It just feels kind of sad, you know? Like you're chasing something you missed out on, trying to relive your college days or whatever. Or I'm trying to grow my career." Babe, let's be honest. You've been in the same job for 4 years. Maybe this is just where you're supposed to stay. Not everyone's cut out to lead, and that's fine. The condescension was thick, but what stung more was when she brought it up at dinner with her friends 2 weeks later. "Mark's having a little midlife meltdown early," she announced to the table. "Wants to go back to school. Can you imagine? He'll be there with his little notebook and assignments while I'm climbing to senior director." Her friend Lauren snickered. "That's kind of adorable, though. Like a dad trying to fit in, right?" Jessica laughed. "I told him to just focus on supporting my career instead. When I'm VP, he won't need a master's anyway." I sat there, eating my overpriced steak, and made a choice. "You know what? You're absolutely right." She patted my hand. "See, you just needed a reality check." I signed up the next day. Update 1. The first semester was brutal, no lie. Working full-time and taking 3 courses left me drained. Jessica didn't let it slide. "You look exhausted, babe. Maybe you should drop a class." "I'm fine. I'm just worried about you and us. You're never around anymore." "You missed Lauren's promotion party last night to study." "I had a group project due." She sighed theatrically. "This is exactly what I warned you about. You're letting this little hobby mess with our relationship." Little hobby. That's what she called it. Meanwhile, she was killing it. Landed the senior director promotion she'd been gunning for. Started leading a team of 10. Every dinner turned into a lecture about her management style and how she was revolutionizing the department's culture. One night, she caught me studying at 2 a.m. "This is sad, Mark. You're burning yourself out for what? A degree?" "It's more than that." "Is it, though? You know Alex from my team? He's 26, no masters, and just got bumped to lead analyst. Meanwhile, you're here memorizing equations like it's high school." She wasn't wrong about Alex. The guy was sharp. But what Jessica didn't know was that my data science professor, Dr. Carter, consulted for our company. He'd noticed my work, started mentoring me, and introduced me to industry contacts. "Keep it up, Mark," he said after class one night. "Your project on machine learning models?" I shared it with some colleagues in the field. They're impressed I didn't tell Jessica any of this. Just kept my head down, kept grinding, kept taking her patronizing comments with a nod. The worst was when she'd introduce me at company events. "This is Mark, my boyfriend. He's going through a bit of a phase, decided to go back to school. We're being supportive, aren't we?" The pitying glances from her coworkers were fantastic. Really boosted the ego. Update 2. Year 2 of the program, something big happened. Our company posted a new role, Director of Data Strategy. It was Jessica's dream job. Reported to the C-suite, led a cross-departmental team, $165,000 base salary. She was buzzing with excitement, spent weeks perfecting her application, rehearsed her pitch every night. This is it, babe. This is my shot. Once I land this, I'll be the youngest director in company history. That's awesome, Jess. You could sound a little more excited. This affects you too. Director's girlfriend sounds way better than whatever you are now. Whatever I was now. Nice. What she didn't know was that Dr. Carter had recommended me for something else, a part-time consulting gig with Pinnacle Analytics, the firm our company hired for major strategic projects. It was meant for PhD candidates, but he vouched for me. I didn't tell her. When I left for consulting meetings, I said I had study sessions. When I was building advanced data models for Fortune 100 clients, she thought I was doing assignments. The senior partner at Pinnacle, Elaine, became another mentor. You have a knack for turning complex data into actionable insights, she told me. Ever thought about consulting full-time? Maybe after I graduate. We've got ties with Nextech. There's a lot of mobility between our firms. Keep that in mind. Meanwhile, Jessica's interview for the director role was coming up. She practiced on me constantly, though she made it clear she didn't think I could really contribute. Just pretend to be an exec and ask me tough questions. What's your strategy for unifying data pipelines across legacy systems? She blinked. That's what? Just ask normal questions, Mark. Like about vision and collaboration and stuff. The interview was on a Thursday. She came home crushed. They asked all this technical crap. About SQL and Python and forecasting models. Since when do directors need to know that? Tech's evolving. Leaders need to understand the tools, whatever. I'll get the next one. She didn't get the job. An outside hire did. She spent the next week ranting about nepotism and old boys networks. Update 3. I graduated in December, summa cum laude, 4.0 GPA. Jessica skipped the ceremony. Babe, it's just a master's graduation. It's not like it's a PhD or something actually noteworthy. Plus, I have that planning retreat. The planning retreat was at a local resort. But fine. What she missed was the Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Achievement. What she missed was the 3 job offers I got that day from execs who attended. What she missed was Elaine from Pinnacle pulling me aside. Big news. We're being acquired by Nextech. They want our expertise in-house, and they want me to build the new data strategy division. My heart stopped. That director role that was posted? It's being revamped. They want something bigger, a VP of data strategy overseeing 3 directors. Mark, she smiled, they want me to recommend someone. Someone who knows both companies, has the technical chops, and the strategic vision. Elaine, I'm just finishing my master's. With a perfect GPA, plus 18 months consulting with us, plus 4 years at Nextech with glowing reviews, plus endorsements from every professor and client you've worked with, I couldn't breathe. VP, but I'm young. So what? You're exceptional. More importantly, you're ready. The interview process took 2 weeks. I told Jessica I was working on a capstone project for graduation. She barely looked up from her phone. That's cute, babe. Hey, when you're done with your little project, can you grab my coffee order? I got the call on a Tuesday. VP of Data Strategy. $240,000 base salary, plus bonuses. Stock options, company car, reporting directly to the chief operating officer. And the kicker, the restructuring folded part of corporate strategy into my division, including Jessica's team. Update 4. I accepted the role but negotiated a start date after the holidays. Told Jessica I was taking a breather post-graduation, maybe exploring options. Finally, she said, you've been so dull with all that studying. We can actually have a life again. HR kept it hush-hush, per my request. The announcement would drop the first Monday back. That weekend, Jessica was hyped about work. Big announcement Monday. Rumor is they finally filled the VP of Data Strategy role. Hope it's not another external hire who doesn't get our culture. I'm sure they'll be fine. You don't get it, babe. This person will be my boss's boss. They could make or break my career. I need to make a killer first impression. Sunday night, she spent 3 hours picking her outfit. Professional but approachable. Confident but not intimidating. God, I hate having to kiss up like this. Just be yourself. She scoffed. That's what people with no ambition say, Mark. Monday morning, I left early. Told her I had a doctor's appointment. I got to the office at 7 a.m. My new assistant, Malik, had already set up my office on the executive floor. The COO, Sandra, stopped by. Ready for this? As ready as I'll ever be. Announcements at 8:30, department meeting at 9. Legal wants to confirm you've disclosed your relationship with Ms. Lee to HR. Done. Filed the paperwork Friday. The email went out at 8:30 sharp. I watched from my office window as people across the building checked their phones and computers. At 8:33, my phone blew up. Jessica calling. I declined. She called again and again. Text. What the actual hell? Text. Is this a prank? Text. There's another Mark Thompson, right? At 8:55, I walked into the conference room. 43 people from the merged departments. Jessica was in the third row, face drained of color. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Thompson, your new VP of Data Strategy. You could have heard a mouse sneeze. I know some of you, and I'm excited to meet the rest. We have a huge opportunity to redefine how this company leverages data for strategic growth. I delivered my presentation. 20 minutes on vision, strategy, immediate priorities. Professional, focused. I didn't glance at Jessica once, though I could feel her staring. Questions? Alex, the 26-year-old she'd compared me to, raised his hand. Will our reporting structure change? Yes, org charts will be shared this afternoon. But I can confirm corporate strategy will now have a dotted line reporting to data strategy. Another hand. What about our current projects? Everything proceeds as normal for now. I'll be doing one-on-ones this week to review and potentially reassign resources. The meeting ended. People filed out, many stopping to introduce themselves. Jessica stayed seated until the room cleared. Just the two of us. What the hell, Mark? We should discuss this in my office. Your office? Jessica, we're at work. Please keep it professional. Her face went from pale to red. Professional? You've been lying to me. I've been studying, earning my degree, building my career, exactly what I said I was doing. You said you were taking basic classes. No, you assumed that. You never asked about my coursework, my grades, my projects. You were too busy calling it pathetic. She stood, trembling. So this was some twisted revenge scheme? No, this was me investing in myself while you belittled me for it. The fact that I'm now your boss's boss is just poetic. We're done. You know that, right? Done. I figured. HR has the disclosure paperwork. We'll need to maintain professional boundaries regardless. She stormed toward the door, then turned. You planned this. You deliberately humiliated me. Jessica, you humiliated yourself every time you called my education pathetic. Every time you introduced me as going through a phase. Every time you told people I wasn't cut out for leadership. I was being realistic. No, you were being patronizing. And now you report to someone you thought wasn't good enough. That must be, what's the word you used? Pathetic? Update 5. The breakup was instant and chaotic. She moved out that night, showed up with her brother and Lauren to grab her stuff, made a huge scene. 3 years, Mark. 3 years I wasted on you. Okay, you're a scheming manipulator. Okay, everyone at work thinks you're a snake. That's funny considering the dozen congratulatory messages I got today. Lauren piped up, You should be ashamed. Dating your subordinate is like harassment or something. We were dating before I became her boss's boss. Also, she's not my direct report. Also, everything's documented with HR. Also, get your facts straight before throwing around legal terms. Her brother got in my face. You think you're a big shot now? I think I'm someone who worked hard for 2 years while your sister mocked me. Now please take her stuff and leave. At work, things got interesting. Jessica immediately requested a transfer to another department. Denied. No openings at her level. She then went to HR about a hostile work environment. HR's response: Mr. Thompson has been entirely professional. He disclosed the relationship immediately upon accepting the role. If you have specific instances of inappropriate conduct, please document them. She didn't. What she did have was an attitude issue. Started showing up late, leaving early, skipping meetings. I documented everything, sent it to HR and her direct manager, Carlos. Week 3, Carlos came to my office. Jessica's performance is becoming a problem. I'm aware. How do you want to handle it? She's talented, but this situation is impacting the team. Performance improvement plan, 90 days. If she can't meet professional standards, we'll reassess. He nodded. Fair. Mark? For what it's worth, the team respects how you've handled this. You haven't trashed her, haven't retaliated. It's noticed, meanwhile, Jessica started a whisper campaign, telling anyone who'd listen that I'd schemed my way to the top, used her for insider info. Problem was, people could see. They saw me earning my degree. They saw my consulting work. They saw the upgrades I was already making to our data systems. Month 2 in the role, I rolled out a new analytics platform that saved the company $2.8 million annually. The CEO highlighted it in the quarterly all hands. This is the innovation we need. Mark Thompson and his team are setting the bar. Jessica was in the audience. I heard she left early that day. Update 6. 3 months into my role, Jessica's PIP was failing. She'd missed multiple deadlines, alienated her team, and Carlos was exasperated. She's brilliant when she wants to be, he told me, but she's checked out. What do you suggest? Honestly, she needs to move on. This isn't working. I called her into my office that afternoon. First time we'd been alone since the breakup. Jessica, please sit. She sat, arms crossed, radiating defiance. Your PIP review is tomorrow. Carlos's recommendation is termination. Her face went ashen. You're firing me? I'm not doing anything. Your performance is, however, I have an option. I slid a paper across the desk. Pinnacle Analytics is hiring a corporate strategy manager. Comparable salary, good benefits. Elaine, the senior partner, is willing to interview you based on your resume. She stared at the paper. Why would you help me? Because despite everything, you're capable. You're just not able to perform here anymore, and that's partly my fault for taking this role knowing our history. Partly? Mostly your fault for treating me like crap for 2 years, but I'm trying to be generous. She gave a small, bitter laugh. Generous. Big words now that you're a hotshot? I've always had a decent vocabulary. You just never listened when I spoke. She took the paper. If I take this interview, you resign. 2 weeks' notice, transition your projects properly, leave with dignity and a neutral reference. And if I don't? Tomorrow's PIP review goes forward. She stood. You really planned all this, didn't you? From the start? No, Jessica. I planned to improve myself. You planned to keep me down. Guess whose plan won? She interviewed at Pinnacle that week. Got the job. Submitted her notice the following Monday. On her last day, she stopped by my office. I got the job. Congratulations. You know what? I had someone willing to grow and invest in themselves, and I ridiculed them for it. I had someone brilliant and driven, and I tried to make them feel small. Past tense, Jessica. Had, she nodded. Yeah, past tense. She turned to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, you're a solid VP. The team respects you. You earned this. I know. Final update. It's been a year since I graduated. 18 months since Jessica first mocked me for going back to school. She's doing well at Pinnacle, from what I hear. Elaine says she's humbled, focused, delivering strong work. Maybe she learned something. Maybe not. Not my problem anymore. My division just got a 40% budget increase. We're hiring 15 new analysts. The forecasting model we built is being rolled out company-wide. The COO is talking about grooming me for her role when she retires in 3 years. Dating? Yeah, I'm seeing someone. Samantha from compliance. She's getting her MBA at night school. I help her prep, cheer her wins, attend every presentation. Crazy idea, right? Supporting your partner's growth? Jessica was right about one thing. Not everyone's leadership material, but she was wrong about who was who. Last week, I was invited to speak at City University's graduation. Shared my story with the new grads, working full-time, facing naysayers, pushing through. People will try to shrink you for wanting more. They'll call you pathetic, desperate, a joke. But here's the truth. The only pathetic thing is staying stuck to keep others comfortable with their own complacency. Got a standing ovation. Sometimes I think back to that dinner 3 years ago, when Jessica and her friends laughed at me going back to school. How sure she was that she'd be VP while I'd be cheering her career from the sidelines. Funny how life turns out. To anyone with a partner who belittles your dreams, they're showing you who they are. Trust them. Then prove them wrong. Not for spite, but for you. And if you end up their boss along the way, well, that's just the universe with a sense of humor. Class dismissed.